Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave me at insagency.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters and never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
March 10th, a pretty important ethics board meeting, New Orleans Ethics Board meeting. Will they keep Ed Michel, Inspector General, or not? Will they renew his his contract, which would be for another 4 years? Dane Ciolino is with us. He's a Loyola law professor. He has his own law firm, handles some cases with his law practice, ethics law, and some other things, his specialty at Loyola. Also, the Southern Poverty Law Center. You've been involved with that too, right, Dane?
No, not that. I am involved with the Ethics Board in New Orleans as its executive administrator and general counsel.
Okay. I thought you were involved with Southern Poverty Law sometimes as well. Maybe I'm just thinking you take on some cases that are...
Oh, I've taken on all kinds of cases over the years, but not with those guys.
Yeah, and what do they call that? Where you don't get paid because you're taking on cases of folks that can't afford quality.
Oh, no.
Yes, because they can't afford a quality attorney. Hey, the reason I was getting you on, you're sort of like a liaison between the ethics board in New Orleans and the public?
No, I actually am general counsel to the Ethics Review Board, and I serve as their administrator in organizing the meetings and giving the board legal advice. But the board is actually comprised of 7 volunteers from various universities in New Orleans, and also one appointee by the mayor. And that's the board that administers the City of New Orleans Ethics Code. And most importantly for our discussion today is the board responsible for appointing the independent police monitor and the inspector general.
Yep, exactly. It's a 7-member board, 6 university presidents, higher ups come up with members. Doesn't the mayor get to approve all the members?
The 6 universities submit 3 nominees to the mayor.
And she picks one.
And she picks one, and then there's an at-large seat that she picks on her own.
How many are on the board right now? Do you know, Dane? It's not a full 7, is it?
No, we have 5 people on the board right now. We're waiting on an appointment from Dillard and from the mayor.
Gotcha. And so it's the Ethics Review Board. You mentioned the police monitor, also the Office of Inspector General. Ed Michel's contract, I'm assuming, is up. And in 2 weeks from today, March 10th, you guys, not you, the Ethics Review Board will decide if they're going to give him another 4 years or not?
Correct. His contract is up at the end of this year, and the board is going to decide whether to reappoint him, as the city charter and code of ordinances allow them to do without further search. They can simply reappoint him, or the board can decide to do a full-blown search for a possible replacement. And so the meeting 2 weeks from today is all about whether a simple question about whether to reappoint him. If the board decides to do that, the issue is over for another 4 years. If the board decides to conduct a search that Mr. Michel may or may not be part of, that would be the alternative decision for the board.
Now, the reason I bring you on, Dane, is basically that explanation. I don't know if you can add any more insight or opinion to it beyond what you just said, in the sense of, I just see this guy as being a tenacious IG, kind of cut out of the Bob Sarasoli cloth. I think they average like a report every 3 or 4 weeks. That office seems very organized. I guess what I'm getting at, it seems like it should just be a formality. Like, this is one of the things in New Orleans that really works well. But I guess politics are involved in New Orleans, and a lot of folks are tugging on the ethics board's ear, I'm assuming right now. In your opinion, or even if you can give an opinion, is this a mere formality, or there's some question what could happen in 2 weeks?
Well, the board is going to have a full-blown public meeting. It's going to be held at Loyola Law School on Monday the 10th at 3:30. It's, as I said, it's open to the public. We expect it to be well attended by members of the public. I expect we'll have a number of members speak in favor of reappointment, and I would expect, as you would expect anytime there's a public hearing on something like this, that there will be people speaking against. But we don't know. It's going to be a public meeting. The board's going to listen to all the public comments, and then publicly deliberate about what to do and take a vote and decide whether to reappoint or whether to conduct a search.
Is that normal procedure? There wouldn't just, if it was, hey, we like this person, let's just renew the contract, or every time the contract's up for renewal, there's this public meeting?
Yes, absolutely. It's the board can't do anything, can't take any action unless it's at a public meeting, and this is a public meeting that's going to be convened for the purpose of listening to the public and making a decision about whether reappointment is appropriate.
Now, I don't mean this in any disrespectful way to you, but at all. I thought the sheriff, and I hear you what you're saying, that the ethics board's supposed to appoint the police monitor. I thought Susan Hudson appointed the police monitor last time, and the ethics board just sort of green-lighted that.
Susan Hudson, prior to being elected as sheriff, was the police monitor. And when she ran for sheriff and won, she resigned, and after a search, the board appointed Stella Zement to be the police monitor, and she serves in that position today.
That what Stella Zement wasn't Susan Hudson's choice. That was the board's choice.
That's correct.
Yeah, no, I got
correct.
you.
Although Ms. Zement did work in the office as a deputy police monitor when Susan Hudson was the police monitor.
No, gotcha. So, Dane, where does this I keep saying New Orleans Ethics Board, the Ethics Review Board, where does this meeting take place in 2 weeks?
Loyola University Law School building on Pine Street, half a block off St. Charles Avenue, 3:30 p.m. on Monday the 10th. The meeting is going to be from 3:30 till around 5:30.
And the ethics board members, the 5 members, will be there listening to the public, neutral comments, positive, negative comments, any comments on this renewal of Ed Michel's contract as the Inspector General. That's pretty much what's on the docket.
That's it. That's the only item on the agenda for Monday.
Gotcha. Anything we're missing, Dane? Anything we need to know about Loyola besides winning national championships?
Nothing that I can think of.
Yep. Dane, always a pleasure, man. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to call.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
No, thanks for all the info. That's Dane Ciolino, Loyola law professor, joining us March 10th at Loyola, 3:30, 2 weeks away. You like Ed Michel? Go over there and say it. You don't like Ed Michel? Go over there and say it. I think this should just be a no-brainer in my book. Ed Michel is I think it's done a fantastic job. I think this is just rubber stamped. If Ed Michel doesn't get another 4-year deal, something's very wrong. You want to know my biggest concern? Honestly, Ed Michel burning out and leaving the job like Bob Sarasoli did. Bob Sarasoli was older. He was from Boston. He did the big dig, moving the interstate underground in Boston. He was the IG for that. That concrete's inferior. It's not going to hold. The thing collapses. That's over budget. You're wasting money on that. He was the guy overseeing that, and all that thing just went way over budget. He wrote the book on how to get on top of those types of things and scrutinize it and show what they're doing wrong, how to do it right, all of that. He comes down to New Orleans. You think that job would have killed him. Comes down to New Orleans, and the IG gig in New Orleans almost did kill him. He was, older guy, had some slight health issues, and then just the stress of the job. Just having to, any request that in any other city for the IG under the law would be a here you go. And in New Orleans, it was hurdle after hurdle. No, go to them, jump over this. And he got it done. I love how he put his office in the federal building downtown. It's not in just any place where any politician anytime can just come mosey on in. You want to speak with the IG? Set up an appointment. Bob Sarasoli would meet people in the lobby of the Pavilion Hotel across the street because you got to get vetted. You can't just go to the federal building. Might take a few days to get vetted. So nothing on a whim. And that's how it should be. The politicians, the city folks that work for us, the public servants that are supposed to be civic-minded, They should have to wait a day or two. There shouldn't be immediate response. Oh, you want to come see me right now? I'll push everything aside for you. No, I might be scrutinizing you or your buddy down the hall or in another building or some other entity in city government that has nothing to do with you. So no, my only concern with Ed Michel and the ethics board, this ethics review board, any citizen of New Orleans that cares about the city and taxpayer money and politicians not screwing us, anybody should be hoping that this is just a mere formality 2 weeks from today and Ed Michel gets green lighted. That's just, or green lit. Is it green lit or green lighted? I got to work on my grammar. Anyway, no, this is such a no-brainer. This guy is tenacious. Every 3-4 weeks, a report is released, saving the city of New Orleans tens of millions of dollars annually. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Coming right back. Don't move, New Orleans.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, insagency.com.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Instead of those 6 university presidents appointing a member to the Ethics Review Board, they come up with 3 names and the mayor picks one of the 3. So the mayor picks from the university president's 3, and then she picks one of her own. You got a couple of university presidents like in your pocket where y'all are pals or friends, and they're going to put up the 3 names that you suggest so that everybody's on the same page, gives the mayor a lot of power on that ethics review board. And you don't want the mayor or the council or any politician having a lot of power on the ethics review board. It really should be business community and primarily led by the university presidents exclusively, with no outside influence. Now, it's the 7-member board, I think, is down to, Dane said 5. It could be 4. I remember that reverend that was on the board that resigned from the board. I forget the details. There was something that, I forget, Susan Hudson or someone was pushing. No, this is going to be very telling in 2 weeks. And then also what's going to be very telling, this is key. The public people, because it's a public meeting, this is what's great about it, that are going to say negative things about the Office of Inspector General and Ed Michel. 2 things: listen to the complaints, and do they seem realistic for starters? And 2, remember the people coming up with them. Many are politically connected, if not right, a politician or someone working for a politician directly.
much less indirectly, but at least politically connected, agenda driven. And chances are, and I'm serious when I say this, and it's like dogging Rafael Goyeneche at the Metropolitan Crime Commission or dogging Ed Michel at the Office of Inspector General. Where are these people coming from? Do they come from today and historically speaking in their past from a high ethical, moralistic, high integrity place? Or are they kind of deviants by behavior? I mean, I've been in radio a long time and television in New Orleans. There are people in this business that are deviants, that are in it for the wrong reasons, that don't understand the responsibility behind the mic. I mean, some are just lightweights, harmless. And some have some agenda. And because maybe they're non-entities, they end up being harmless. But, I know one guy that we used to call him Mr. Payola. He would literally take money from local bands and play their songs, which were terrible, like on drive time in the afternoon during his music. He's a DJ. Would take cash to play crap music in the middle of the day. We called him Mr. Payola. He was just getting paid off all the time by musicians and playing their music. This guy evolves into talk radio and is taking checks from clients that are paying the radio station, like claiming to be like in charge of the sales or whatever, and somehow getting his hands on the checks and depositing them into an account that he set up with the call letters from the radio station. Or if the radio station had the call letters, he used the frequency on the AM dial and was cashing these checks. As far as I know, this cat's still in radio. I mean, there's another guy who's pushing Karen Carter Peterson's money, taking her money, campaign money from her, taking money from the Democratic Louisiana State Party, and supposedly producing radio, television, and, multimedia type advertising and promotion for clients. I mean, if any of it's true, it would be at the highest price per commercial in the history of the medium. No, it's just a joke. You've got a lot of deviants on radio. I guess some in television. I know radio a little better than TV. Worked at a bunch of stations, different companies in town. Know a lot of the legitimate people and a lot of the jokers and characters. No, anytime you have someone like a Rafael Goyeneche with the Metropolitan Crime Commission, he's just really done a masterful job. Like, thank God for these types. Ed Michel, Office of Inspector General, doing a masterful job. My concern, like burnout, and he leaves. The folks that are critical of these types, remember who they are and ask yourself, why are they critical? What is it just talk, or is there some foundation? There's something behind it that's real. No, and a lot of the time the answer is these folks are the deviants. These folks are the crooked thinkers, the criminal deviant type thinkers. So, of course, they're going to be against righteous people doing us, the citizens, black, white, Republican, Democrat, doing the citizens of New Orleans right. Rafael Goyeneche at the Metropolitan Crime Commission and Ed Michel, Office of Inspector General. Now, we have major corruption, political hacks, anointed, appointed jokers, people with city contracts, politicians themselves. We need watchdogs in New Orleans and Louisiana. Are you kidding me? These guys work. These guys are effective. No, 2 weeks from today, this ethics review board, you listen to the public, and afterwards, unanimous vote, Ed Michel, 4 more years as IG. If that doesn't happen, I don't know what that ethics review board's all about. This guy is a tenacious pit bull that all he does is deliver results when it comes to fraud, abuse, waste, and even criminal behavior. The results speak for themselves. The office is paid for decades into the future by the money that Bob Sarasoli has saved taxpayers in the city of New Orleans. Hey, not all smoothie kings are the same. Far from it. Experience the best. I go to the Smoothie King, 2 of them, that Jay and his dad owned. Smoothie King franchisees for decades, Jay and his dad. They've got the Smoothie King on Jefferson Highway across from Oshner, and they've got the Old Metairie Smoothie King, airline at LeBar, open late. Yeah, all Smoothie Kings aren't the same. Far from it. Experience the best. Smoothie King Jefferson Highway across from Oshner, and the Old Metairie Smoothie King on airline.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333.
Quiet, Blue Boy.
Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk,
Down,
93.9
buddy. Got radio
FM,
and TV
WSLA
to
New
do.
Orleans.
It's 5
Good boy.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Oh, yeah. Hour number 2 of the program. Fantastic. 5 o'clock power hour coming your way on a Monday afternoon. Mardi Gras Day a week from tomorrow. Mardi Gras Day a week from tomorrow. 8 days away. You know what that means? Big, big parade week. Great weather week, too. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. Today through Sunday, 50s and 60s. Pretty much no rain on the forecast all week long. Today through Sunday, no rain. 50s and 60s, too. Very, very, very nice. Now, come Monday, a week from today, a 50% chance of rain for Lundi Gras. Come Mardi Gras Day, a week from tomorrow, a 40% chance of rain. 59 to start the day, Mardi Gras Day, 76 the high. Gorgeous weekend, by the way. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, cloudless sky, blue sky right now, 50 to 70 degrees. Start off at 51, finish the day at 70, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Phenomenal weather. Now, we're 9 days out, 8 days out, excuse me. So we're within that 10-day forecast. Late last week, Thursday, Friday, meteorologists were saying probably rain on Mardi Gras Day, but we're outside the 10-day window. Let's get inside of that. We'll have more confidence. And when you get inside the 10-day window, the percentage of accuracy skyrockets. And as we get each day closer to Mardi Gras Day, the percentage of accuracy skyrockets. So we're 8 days away, meaning tomorrow and 7 days out, and Wednesday, 6 days out, Thursday, 5 days out. And by Thursday, we'll have a damn good idea what's going to happen Tuesday. I mean, 95% chance of accuracy on that prediction by like Thursday. So right now, even with Mardi Gras Day, 40% chance of rain today, it could be sunny and clear and 65 Mardi Gras Day because we're 8 days out. Things can change. But right now, today through this Sunday, fantastic weather, especially this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, as good as it gets. Gorgeous, sunny, 50 to 70 degrees. Next Monday, 50% chance of rain right now. Next Tuesday, Mardi Gras Day, a week from tomorrow, 40% chance of rain right now. We'll see. Keep your fingers crossed. We can just get this rain pushed back about 36, 48 hours into Ash Wednesday. Kaboom goes the dynamite. No, we don't want anyone that, the jam-packed hotels, the 29,000 hotel rooms in the CBD, French Quarter, all that, all the Airbnbs, all the hotels in the outlying areas, Metairie, out in Mississippi, North Shore, wherever. We don't want those people, hanging around the hotel. We don't want them watching TV, laying on the bed, waiting for the rain to stop. We want them out on the streets, spending money, partying, having a good time, ringing up that credit card. I don't know about you, but when I go on vacation, I live like a rich or wealthy person even. Now, there are limitations, obviously. I'm not flying on a private jet. But the point is, I can't remember a vacation where I was like, I'm going to spend $1,500, that I didn't spend $2,000 or $2,500, or a vacation where I was like, this is going to run me $2,500 and $4,000 was spent. I worry about it later. I'll run up a credit card because it's a once in a lifetime. I'm in Germany. It's a once in a lifetime, not once in a lifetime, but special if I'm in the mountains of Colorado or in DC or New York or Miami, wherever. It's not every day. I don't travel all the time. I'm not loaded, not rich or wealthy. So vacation, it's like eating a steak. It's like, man, you're going to live like rich or wealthy folks, That's why steak's so good, because it tastes so good. It's like, how can anyone do any better than me eating a steak right now? No, vacations, I'm gonna spend the extra cash. So here in New Orleans for Mardi Gras, the booze flowing, everybody having a good time. It's a party. People are going to spend the extra cash. But if they're inside, if it's raining, it's depressing weather, they're not. I mean, good weather can be tens of millions of dollars in economic income difference for New Orleans. And the New Orleans businesses, the people, obviously. 8 days till Mardi Gras. Yeah, you right. And like the Super Bowl, New Orleans is going to be one of the safest places on the planet. New Orleans, state and federal money, and just these entities ramping up security for Mardi Gras. We got that Sear 1 rating for Mardi Gras like the Super Bowl has. Highest security rating at a federal level. That means federal resources to the tunes of millions of dollars in extra money coming in for law enforcement in New Orleans. There'll be 600 NOPD officers, boots on the ground during Mardi Gras. 600. There'll be 150 state troopers. That NOLA Troop N, I think, is like, it's supposed to eventually be staffed at about 50. I want to say it's like at 20 or 25 right now, like less than half. So they brought in a bunch of state troopers, about 10% of all state troopers, roughly, maybe a little more, 12%. There's about 1,200 state troopers total. 150 of them will join 600 NOPD. That's 750 NOPD and state troopers. Then there are 25 other law enforcement agencies involved. If these 25 just average 10 law enforcement each, you're talking about over 1,000 boots on the ground. FBI, ATF, wildlife and fisheries, local, state, federal agencies, 25 of them bringing a lot of law enforcement, some of them dozens and dozens and dozens. I wouldn't doubt if an entity or two brings like 75 or 100 law enforcement. I'm talking from a federal level. So like the Super Bowl, Mardi Gras is going to be so safe. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Yeah, you right. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, Loyola law professor, lawyer Dane Ciolino joined us. He does stuff for the Ethics Review Board, knows all about the Ethics Review Board. 2 weeks from today at 3:30 on Loyola's campus, March 10th, 2 weeks from today, a very important Ethics Board meeting. Do you keep Inspector General Ed Michel for another 4 years, or do you not renew his contract and bring up a national search? This one seems so obvious to me. Ed Michel is a relentless pit bull, rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse in a broken, dysfunctional, politically crooked New Orleans. He's like Rafael Goyeneche with the Metropolitan Crime Commission. We need these high integrity, high ethics, high morals, these people at the controls of these entities that are tireless workers, that are relentless at what they do, and are apolitical. They don't look at Republican or Democrat, don't look at black or white. They simply go where the waste, fraud, and abuse is. And when they're doing their investigation, their audit, they sometimes find corruption and criminal behavior, and then they turn that over to law enforcement. This is New Orleans. This is Louisiana. Thank God Bob Sarasoli set the office up right. And Ed Michel, the present IG, is taking advantage of that. The IG before him, I called him Do Nothing Derry Harper. This is where you wreck this great office. This guy did nothing, was politically connected, was a joker, was a pathetic, like, anointed, appointed political hack, a friend of the politicians. So it greatly affected what he was going to do in his office, coupled with he was a lazy bum and did nothing. So it was terrible. So you have this great office with autonomy and power. You put some weakling in there like Do Nothing Derry Harper, you get nothing done. But you have like a Bob Sarasoli pit bull like Ed Michel. My only concern, I said it last hour, Ed Michel burning himself out. He's relentless. About every 3-4 weeks, another report is released. And at the end, all these entities are like, you're right, Ed. Yes, we'll implement those changes. You're right. We relent. The ones that fight him, they lose at the end. Not going to give you that information that by law we're required to give you. He's the IG. No, if it was Derry Harper, I would say, hey, Ethics Review Board, make a change quickly. This guy's a bum. Ed Michel is the opposite. Got to make sure we keep this guy for another 4 years. He's one of the good guys working for us, the citizens. You know what's working for me? Those Audubon gutters with the leaf guard system. Taking the water off my roof, no leaves in the gutter. Won't have to get on a ladder and clean my gutters again. AudubonGutters.com for your home or business. A no-brainer. AudubonGutters.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeVar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Yeah, you right. Hey, if you need prescription eyewear, you need a great pair of sunglasses, you need to go to Art and Eyes on Magazine between Napoleon and Louisiana, the Riverside of Magazine. Google them, Art and Eyes. What I like to say about them, name brand eyewear you've never, ever heard of, and that's a good thing. Because the name brands you know and maybe love and grew up with, I mean, I've been wearing prescription glasses for over 40 years. I used to get Revo and Persol, high-end Italian stuff, Ray-Ban from the United States, Oakley. None of it is what you think it is anymore. It is made in China, garbage, mafia-controlled. It's a joke. It's a joke. Luxottica is not a good company producing high-quality stuff. Art and Eyes has frames, eyewear made in the United States, Europe, Japan, that is the highest quality available on planet Earth. You're going to be blown away. And like I said, name brands you've never heard of, but you will touch, feel, put on these frames, and you'll be like, I want them. Super high quality, lifetime purchases, all different price points, from a few $100 for prescription glasses to a few $1,000s. They've got some ridiculously high-end stuff, super high quality. Art and Eyes on Magazine. If you need prescription glasses or a great pair of sunglasses, Google them. Art and Eyes on Magazine. Mardi Gras Day, 8 days away. Yeah, you're right. Today through Sunday, weather's cooperating. Really is. Can't complain too much. Today through Sunday, we have fantastic weather. Friday, Saturday, Sunday right now, predicted to be an outstanding weekend, as good as it gets. Sunny, 50s and 60s, 50 overnight and 60s during the day, and sunny, no rain, blue skies. A week from today, next Monday, Lundi Gras, 50% chance of rain. That's a week out. 8 days out, a week from tomorrow, Mardi Gras Day, 40% chance of rain. But again, the temperatures today through Mardi Gras, through the middle of next week, 50s and 60s. Let's just hope that as we get later in the week, that rain that's scheduled for Monday and Tuesday, predicted for Monday and Tuesday, gets pushed back to like Ash Wednesday. Then we'll have a Grand Slam home run Mardi Gras. It's already 90% damn good. Through Sunday, through Bacchus, perfecto weather. That means Endymion rolls with great weather, Bacchus rolls with great weather, and all the other parades. Let's just hope Monday and Tuesday. If it rains Monday, let it rain overnight or during the day Monday where there are no parades. And then by like 3 o'clock, no more rain until like Ash Wednesday, huh? A dry Mardi Gras would be sweet. I don't know why it took so long. Seriously. I said it last hour. Someone I knew that was ridiculously good, just could pick talent. People that could go on radio and television and thrive, that were good at what they do. And I asked this guy one time, I was like, how do you know if they're good or not? And he just swings his head and looks at me and goes, can't you tell? And it's so true. There are a lot of jokers that work in radio and television. They're like using some book, looks good, doesn't doesn't stumble or stutter, articulate, really has good pronunciation. They're a winner. No, not really. They're boring. And I'm not, or maybe they are a winner, but the book ain't telling you. Instinct tells you either know it or you don't, And a lot of people that are in this business can't see talent if it were pounding them on the head with a hammer. And it goes to all different levels, not just local. Look no further than MSNBC. Joy Reid out at MSNBC. I have nothing against Joy Reid as a person, and I'm not saying this politically. I don't care if she's left-wing or right-wing. Joy Reid is painfully not entertaining. Not entertaining. I couldn't watch Joy Reid's show. I don't know what it was. Her delivery, her attitude, the topics, whatever. I would literally, I'll have my TV like on mute and I'll be flipping through the channels. I would land on Joy Reid and see like the guests she'd have up there and I'd just skip right through it and my TV's on mute. Don't even care to listen. I'm not busting on Joy Reid like she's some evil person or whatever. I'm not getting into the political thing right now. And yeah, for me, too left, too woke, too progressive, too liberal, same guests all the time with that same attitude. No, years ago, I bailed on that show. I was like, not appealing, doesn't draw you in, doesn't have a sense of humor, not funny, doesn't have a light way of saying things. And you may like Joy Reid. That's great. You're in the super duper minority because she had no ratings, no advertisers. CNN, after beating their head against a cinder block wall for years, finally someone pulled the trigger and said, Joy Reid, you're out. Your show is canceled. Should have been canceled years ago. It just wasn't a good program. People that are hyper woke, loony left, hyper progressive, they weren't watching Joy Reid's show. It wasn't entertaining to them. They can say now, oh, I love Joy Reid. I'm sad she's gone. If I would have known, I would have watched more. Whatever. The natural inclination was to run from Joy Reid's show. No, there are a lot of shows like that. I mean, for me personally, I scanned through the channels. I couldn't watch Joy Reid. There are other shows I can't watch. I don't watch Waters. No, there's nothing Waters is going to tell me and enlighten me, educate me, breaking news, the opposite. A total lightweight, just a joker, no depth, no information, just appeasing the Fox base like Joy Reid was appeasing the liberal base. But I think real conservatives that are hardcore right and they're mad, and I think the hardcore folks, they're not entertained by Waters. Entertained like you're getting something besides just the political talk. Anyone can do the political talk. It has to be entertaining. He gets huge ratings, like bigger than Bill O'Reilly. I had a friend of mine, hyper right, hated Bill O'Reilly, cocky, always talk about himself. I'm like, that's the charm of Bill O'Reilly, or that's the thing to like, that he is just an egomaniac and he always thinks he's right. But he'll bring on Jon Stewart or he'd bring on Bill Maher on Fox and have that counter argument. It was brilliant. So no, I like at least respected Bill O'Reilly's program. And I could watch it, I could learn something and maybe get educated on something. There's nothing Waters or Hannity, those guys are going to do. So no, when I'm sitting there busting on Joy Reid, she was terrible. But I don't think the Fox crew's any better. I mean, I scan the channels all the time. I probably land on kind of the outliers like, Newsmax or One American News. I probably, if I had to pick a show I most land on, it would probably be like Cuomo for a few minutes a week. I don't find these folks very entertaining. I don't find them funny. I'm not hardcore left. I'm not hardcore right. So I don't need if I were, hey, let me go somewhere where they're saying what I want to hear. I'm not left like CNN or MSNBC, and I'm not right like Fox. So maybe, that has something to do with it, but I just don't find these show hosts entertaining or funny. I find it the opposite, kind of dull and boring. And unless there's some huge breaking story, it's hard to keep me there for more than a few minutes. And Joy Reid was just terrible. I could not watch her for a minute. It's like Waters. Can't watch that for a minute. The opposite of Jesse Waters, Joy Reid. The only difference, Jesse Waters has huge ratings and a following and advertisers, and the network's making a lot of money off of Jesse Waters. MSNBC was hemorrhaging with Joy Reid, the opposite. No one watching, no advertisers, hemorrhaging, not making money. Hey, Lester Holt stepping down as anchor of NBC's nightly news after a 10-year run. He's 65 years old, Lester Holt. He will continue anchoring the news magazine show Dateline. So didn't get fired, didn't get let go. Lester Holt's choice, stepping down, anchoring the nightly news on NBC, but he'll continue with Dateline. He's a legitimate journalist. I think he did a really good job. Pretty fair and objective cat. Now, you know, hardcore right's going to say he's with NBC. They're all leftist lunatics. I hear you. Hey, Latrim is hiring. Are you looking for a job? Hey, we're like heading into March now. We're late February, almost to March. 2025, unless you haven't been paying attention, has started. Some of you folks back in November, December were like, man, I'm going to go to latrim.com. I'm going to see what jobs are out there. I'm tired of my job. Corona crisis, that got a lot of people thinking. They abandoned jobs and careers they never would have without all that introspection and thinking. They're like, life's important. I want to be happy. I want a great job. I want a great career. Why when I wake up every morning, I don't want to go to this job? So a lot of introspection during coronavirus crisis and a lot of people abandoning their careers and going in an entirely different direction. A new year will do that for folks. A new year will do that. New year resolution and the like. Go to latrim.com. Latrim spelled LAITRAM. Go to their website right now. Dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs listed. For you East Bankers and West Bankers, Latrim's hiring at their Elmwood facility. For you North Shore folks, Latrim has an I-12 facility just for you. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. Latrim.com. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock powwow on a Monday. Little after 5:30. That means Brett Martell from the Associated Press is up in a few minutes. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, Dane Ciolino joined us. March 10th, a very important ethics board meeting, the Ethics Review Board. Do they renew Ed Michel's contract or try to find a new IG? Ed Michel's relentless. They better renew his contract. That's a no-brainer. Like Katie's, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. You're sitting there going, man, where am I going to dinner tonight? I know it can be a perplexing problem. So many choices. Make it Katie's. Iberville, Corner Telemachus. Big portions, great for sharing. As New Orleans as it gets. Katie's for dinner in Mid-City.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com. Your cool spot. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King. Hey, New Orleans, if you've ever wanted to experience life on St. Charles Avenue, now is your chance. The Grand Victorian, the ultimate bed and breakfast in the Garden District on the streetcar line. Built in 1893, this magnificent house will make your special weekend getaway special. To find out more, go to gvbb.com. That's gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian, where the locals go to get away.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
This is an absolutely fantastic week to knock out your paint project. No rain. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s all week long. If you're in New Orleans, if you're in Baton Rouge, and you have a paint project to knock out, Helm Paint and Decorating is there for you. They don't do groceries. They don't do tires. They do paint and everything you need to get that painting job done right, including Benjamin Moore high-quality paint. Lifetime guarantee, never paint again. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. Helm Paint and Decorating with free 2-hour delivery in the metro of both cities. It is a little after 5:30 on a Monday. Time for a Martell Monday, I think. Brett Martell's with us from the Associated Press. What up, Brett?
Hey, how's it going, Corey?
Good, going well. How about with you?
Well, like I said before, I didn't like Mondays as much as I do now that it's kind of like I've got a theme. So
you've got a what?
I've got it's kind of a theme of your show now. Like the day, it's like I feel like it's more my day now, so I can't dislike it as much.
That's right. It's a Martell Monday, which is much better than Fridays with Fletch. That's when we take it down a few notches in the sports world, Brett. Hey,
yeah, you go with the conspiracy theories and the crazy trade ideas.
Yep, exactly. Boy, he loves that NBA trade machine, huh?
He does, but I love his passion for it. It's kind of a shtick.
Last one, he had Herschel Walker involved in a trade. I'm like, what? It's crazy. All right, You ready to get into it?
Indeed.
Boy, I'll tell you, look, I'm not a sucker for this crap, Brett. I try to be the opposite. but I like what the Saints have done with their head coach hire. And I really like the coaches that, that this hire has brought in, from offense coordinator, defense coordinator, special teams coach, the trainer guy, these special pass coordinator coaches, all this. They're young, aggressive, yet have a resume. Some have been NFL head coaches. So far, I'm liking what Kellen Moore is doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all encouraging, but, very, very early. And really, a lot of what it's going to come down to, I mean, there's a lot of good assistants in the league. And, he's clearly going with some guys he trusts, and he's giving promotions and so forth. And people he has relationships with. But I think really what it's going to come down to is his ability to be not just a smart offensive coach, because he's going to be their play caller like Sean Payton was when he was the head coach, but he's going to have to be able to be a football CEO, and we just haven't seen him do that yet. He's going to have his finger on the pulse of every player on the team. He's going to have to know what they need to hear that day, what the staff needs to hear that day. He's going to need to make sure that everybody in the front office and the scouting department is pulling in the same direction. There's a lot of other stuff that goes into being a head coach that, that we need to see how he does with that. And, obviously Mickey Loomis is confident that he'll be able to do that, or he wouldn't have hired him.
Young, a lot of the assistants are young. It just seems like an aggressive group that, I don't know, Brett, I guess anybody can be at work. These guys seem like they're ready to work. They're ready to grind. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting suckered into it, but it looks good so far. It's not like a lot of old timers, not retaining coaches, whole new regime on Airline Drive.
Well, it's certainly not like the situation you had when Mike Ditka came in 1996, was it? Or 7? But, yeah, it's different than that.
Yep.
You do have a lot of young, hungry guys looking to establish themselves. And in some ways it's reminiscent of 2006. I think that Mickey is definitely hoping to recapture some of that, with the way they're assembling this thing. So, those are all positive signs, like I said, and there's always a lot of hope when you go through something like this. But, there was hope in Oakland when they signed Josh McDaniel, and that didn't work out. And, there's just a lot of guys who are really great coordinators just don't. I say Oakland, Las Vegas is what I meant with the Raiders when they signed Josh McDaniel, who had been a successful coordinator twice for the Patriots, but, has failed with the Broncos and so forth. So we just have to see how this goes for Kellen, who after interviewing him 3 times, he's got a bit of an aw shucks kind of personality, a nice guy, wholesome guy. And we're just going to, it's a lot different than some of the alpha coaches that you've seen succeed in the past. And we're just going to have to see how it works. I mean, a stoic, polite coach can succeed. Bill Walsh certainly did, to the tune of at least 3 Super Bowls, if not 4.
Tom Landry. There's a lot of examples.
Tom Landry, yeah. So it can work, and I just think that what's important to remember is, it's good to be optimistic, of course, and have hope, but in addition to being optimistic, you have to be realistic.
Yeah, the big question mark, I think, for this Saints team is, can they rework the cap? Can they somehow pull money out? Can they bring in some free agents to fill some gaps? Can they have a draft where you're starting 2 or 3 players from that draft? And most importantly, who's going to be the quarterback for this New Orleans Saints team? I mean, not to keep rehashing the same press conference, but Alvin Kamara gets a ringing endorsement and Derek Carr does not, Brett.
Right. I think what was going on with the Derek Carr thing is, that he had just been hired a couple of days earlier. And I think there is a lot of uncertainty about Derek Carr. And I think that they need to hash out a lot of that uncertainty before they know if, if they can go forward. I think they need to look at what their cap situation is, what Derek Carr's.
If he was definitively part of the team, Brett, he would have been at the press conference with the head coach.
That's right. So he's not definitively part of the team, but I think he's not necessarily off the team either. I think that it's just that is an uncertain situation right now.
No, if they could work out a great trade or something, they might pull the trigger.
Yeah, exactly. But they may find it in their interest at some point to stick with him for at least one more year, just based on some of the complicated financials surrounding his contract, the willingness of he and his agent to be flexible, and there's just, I think right now there's some variables that they still have to work on with him and with what's out there, and how they, what direction Kellen Moore wants to go. So, I mean, he's going to have to watch, all the game film for all the games for last season and really try to get a handle on which personnel he thinks is going to work in his system on the offensive side, and then how they go about securing those people and cutting loose the rest.
Brett Martell's with us for a few more minutes from the Associated Press. Hey, if you have air conditioning or really heat problems, don't stress out. Get that problem solved this afternoon. Get it solved tonight. Total Maintenance is there. That's Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys, air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately, solving your problem immediately. In New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, if you need heat help, think Total Maintenance, tm-ac.com. In New Orleans, in Baton Rouge, if you need heat help, think Total Maintenance, tm-ac.com. Brett, Zion Williamson playing some really good basketball. The Pels are winning, but it's just, all posturing for the lottery pick. The season's done pretty much. They obviously didn't trade Zion Williamson. They want him to be the future of the franchise and build around him, obviously. Is the GM, is the head coach, are they safe? Are the Pels, the injuries crush this season? Everybody gets a rinse and repeat for next year. What do you anticipate, Brett?
That's kind of how it looks to me because, they don't want to just say, what was the fluke? Was it, was the fluke the 3 years in a row that they made a play-in and or the playoffs? Or was the fluke this terrible year they had where there was so many crazy injuries and Brandon Ingram was unhappy with his contract and so forth, right? So, they're in a weird situation now because the season's been lost for a long time. Clearly, by dealing Brandon Ingram, they made a decision that, with Zion under more of a long-term contract and still having so much upside at only, 24, 25 years old here, that they're going to give it at least go into one more season at least, trying to build better around him, see if he can finally stay healthy and be the centerpiece they need him to be. And so now they're in a situation where, they don't have a lot of incentive to win, but, the draft, it's not always a sure thing. And when you're trying to build winning habits, that is like more of a foundation for winning in the future. So they're kind of trying to balance playing hard for the rest of the season, and building winning habits among the players they know they're going to keep. But not necessarily like winning so many games that they take themselves out of lottery contention.
We only can do one. And if you pull yourself out of lottery contention, so be it. I mean, if you pull yourself out of lottery contention, you're almost on the brink of the playoffs. What is it, 16 teams out of 30 go?
Well, it's really 20 if you count the play-in.
Yeah, right? It's 20. So, how many lottery picks you have, 10 or 11 now?
I want to say it's
maybe 10.
10, yeah. So, but yeah, so that's kind of like where they are. Now, what you can do is you can try to promote winning habits, but then sit guys strategically, just rest guys strategically and keep Zion on minute limits and so forth.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters, and you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home, and right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Want to stay somewhere special when visiting New Orleans? Look no further than the Grand Victorian. Located in the Garden District on the St. Charles Avenue streetcar line, the Grand Victorian is ideally placed for visiting the city's local attractions, fabulous restaurants, shops, and more. Make your stay in New Orleans something to remember. To find out more about the Grand Victorian or to book, go to gvbb.com. The Grand Victorian.
Come experience the best smoothies in the metro area at Smoothie King. Jay and his father have been Smoothie King franchisees for decades on Jefferson Highway across from Oxnard, on Airline Highway at LeBar by Causeway. Smoothie King.
Have you been to the new Tracy's on Magazine? There's no better sports bar restaurant in the entire city. Tracy's is inside of a 100-year-old building with literally dozens and dozens of flat-screen TVs, including a 120-inch monster. Tracy's has everything you're looking for in a sports bar, including arguably the best roast beef po' boy in town. When it's time to check out your favorite teams, make it Tracy's on Magazine at Pleasant, in between Washington and Louisiana. Legendary Tracy's in the Garden District.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. Every day on radio, on television, on YouTube, the Nutriground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's always brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra, home of Lamarck Ford for over 45 years, home of the #1 Lincoln dealership in the state. If you need a commercial van, truck, SUV, Ronnie and Ronnie Jr. got you covered at Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway. Every day, the program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and Lamarck Crescent City Ford. Brett Martell's with us. A few more minutes with the AP sports writer.
Brett, I'm live at the Dome right now at the ticket window. I'm waiting for my NHL tickets.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath on that one.
It's not, yeah, that. Look, the story's legit, I think. I mean, the NHL, it was a Sports Illustrated reporter. Apparently last Wednesday or the Wednesday before, some investors met with the NHL, with executives, a legitimate meeting to discuss New Orleans as, they'd like to bring a franchise to New Orleans. I don't look at New Orleans as a hockey market, one. Two, and that could change. Two, we're probably oversaturated as is. We're probably like a 1-point-something major pro sports team, so we're already hitting above our weight with two, with the NBA and the NFL. And three, Brett, I think they're like a half dozen cities ahead of New Orleans for an NHL franchise.
Yeah. I think that there are benefits to, playing the long game and just saying, okay, well, we know it's not going to happen now, but, circumstances can change in a decade or two. And if you start fostering a productive relationship with NHL executives and they're keeping kind of like an eye on your community long term to see what the trends are, the economic growth trends, the sports trends. And
that's a good point.
I mean, I think it just makes sense from like a civic planning standpoint to keep relationships and lines open. Yep. But it's not realistic. I mean, I think that Quebec City would be more likely to get.
And who's the investment group? I'm wondering who the investment group is.
Right. That's the other question.
Yep. Is it that guy from North Louisiana with the Monroe hockey team? I mean, who knows?
Right.
Hey, real quick, Brett. Tulane looks like they're getting an indoor football facility, maybe a 70-yard field, again, a bubble. Maybe a $5, $7, $8 million facility, but instead of by the Riley Center, it looks like it's going to go on Claiborne, right there, the old Rosen Hall site, that parking lot on Claiborne Avenue.
Right. In that parking lot, which is kind of bad news for everybody who likes to park there for baseball and so forth.
They'll have to park on top of the garage down there by the sports center. I mean, there's room. They're just going to have to park up on the top.
It might be ugly, but it would be cool if they could do it. You know how there's like parking garages that have like bubbles on top of the parking?
Oh, look at the Loyola! Look at Loyola Sports Complex on Ferret.
Tennis courts, yeah, right. So like if they could somehow figure out a way to build a parking garage with an indoor practice field on top of it, and that way you actually add parking, like 2 levels of parking, and then the third level would be the football field. Yeah, that might be cool. But I mean, who knows what the expenses of that?
Yeah, just more expensive, obviously. Yeah, the New Orleans Center parking garage by the arena, you can build like a skyscraper on that. Like that parking lot was designed to hold like a 20-story tower on top of it. So yeah, they build something like that. You might be able to pull that gimmick off. Hey, speaking of Tulane, and we might as well throw LSU in there before we let you go, Brett. Ron Hunter, safe at Tulane as head basketball coach. McMahon safe at LSU.
I suspect so. For now, McMahon.
LSU says they're going to put NIL efforts into basketball. That's the only way they can compete. That's why the SEC is so strong this year, because it's NIL, induced, and that isn't the case with LSU men's basketball.
Yeah, I think that LSU's, especially Scott Woodward, is realistic about, being able to compare what kind of support his coach is getting for player recruitment versus other programs, and whether they need to step up. And, so I think, he took over coming on the heels of the Will Wade controversy. I think he helped out LSU by taking over in a tough spot and trying to clean up the program and dealing with scholarship restrictions and so forth. And now they need to take the next step, but he probably has a little bit of leeway there. And I suspect that McMahon will get more than this year.
Boy, Tulane grabbing like a Ron Hunter. Tulane grabbing like a Will Wade from McNeese. You put the program on the map immediately. They're winning again, Brett. They're going to make the NCAA tournament again. Will Wade got a few more months in Lake Charles. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I think this is going to be his last year in Lake Charles.
Yep.
And so, we'll.
What a hire that would be at Tulane.
I think that he'll go to someplace bigger.
Yeah. He's going to go
But-
SEC or something like that. I think somewhere in the South.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Yep, maybe an
it'd
SEC
be cool.
school.
It would be an interesting move for Tulane, but I think that Ron Hunter's probably, we're going to see, but if he has a solid finish here, he's probably good, safe for another year too.
Brett, how can we check out your stuff via the AP?
AP News app on a smartphone, which is free, gives you news from all over the world, or apnews.com on the web with any kind of computer device.
Yep. Always a pleasure, Brett.
All right, take care, Corey. Great show.
Yep, thank you, man. That's Brett Martell, another Martell Monday. He'll be back next week talking more sports. Yeah, get that AP app. They've only been doing news since 1850. Hey, if you're looking for a great place to check out the Pelicans or any of your favorite sports teams, hell, anything on a flat screen TV, Tracy's is the place. Legendary Tracy's. New location. Bigger and better than ever. They moved down the street. Magazine at Pleasant. Basically, catty corner from that Bromart. Right on the corner, Magazine at Pleasant, Riverside, between Washington and Louisiana. And yeah, they've got that fantastic roast beef po' boy. And all those flat screen TVs. Lots of like-minded fans. Go check out the Pels, your favorite sports teams, at Tracy's Magazine at Pleasant. That's Blue Boy barking up a storm saying it's 6 o'clock. And he's also saying, please come back tomorrow, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Be here. See you then.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.